Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. So on the table in front of us, we have 3 different knives from the Elite Tactical brand. Now we've seen some of these Elite Tactical brand knives on the channel before. More on the budget side, for sure. Now, these guys, the Elite Tactical, these were all sent in by Elk Ridge Knives. You saw the Elk Ridge knife review I did last week. They all came together, so shout out to Elk Ridge for doing that. Really, really appreciate the opportunity. But the Elite Tactical, Elk Ridge, M-Tech, they all kind of fall under that Master Cutlery umbrella. And a lot of the brands underneath the Master Cutlery umbrella tend to be on kind of the more the fantasy side, if you will. Not all, but some of them. Elk Ridge has got some pretty decent slip joint knives for a really reasonable price. You've got these from Elite Tactical, which honestly might catch some flack for this, but kind of remind me or give me like a budget Cold Steel vibe. They're a lot of them are beefy, they're a little thicker, they got a little weight behind them. So that's just kind of how I see them. But we're going to talk about these 3 today. I actually had some more just come in, so we'll be seeing a few more on the channel here at some point. But there's some commonality between all of these that I kind of want to point out. I mean, they're all G10, they're all D2 blades, but the one thing is they have Elite Tacticals version of kind of like an axis lock, but it's the dynamic locking mechanism. So instead of operating on a horizontal plane, it operates on a vertical plane, which, to me, makes it, like an axis style lock or something like that. It does have reversible clips as well. Well, 2 of these do. So it makes them more of a truly ambidextrous knife, which is awesome because my lefty friends get left out sometimes. I mean, yeah, you can reverse a clip, but if it's still a liner lock, it's a little more awkward too. But these, to me, truly ambidextrous. So just kind of wanted to point out the similarities between them. Now we're going to kind of cover these a little bit individually. And the first one I'm going to start out with is this one. This is the Ravid. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, the reason I'm starting with this one is, well, it's probably the one I'm going to talk about the least. Maybe not. I don't know. But obviously, it's a karambit knife, and it has the wave function. Now, those 2 things are 2 things that really, really don't interest me. So, I know there's a lot of karambit fans out there. That's fine. A karambit has really one purpose and one purpose only, and that's a fighting knife, and I am not a knife fighter at all. And plus, I really don't like the wave function. I just never have. I've never been a fan of the wave function. So, get that out of the way. But the one thing I don't really care for about karambits, and maybe it has to do with my hand size, but see how it spreads my pinky out from the rest of my hand? Just don't like the feel of that at all. It's got a blade. Will it open a box? Absolutely. Will it open an envelope? Absolutely. Will it cut rope? Absolutely. For me, it won't do it comfortably. So, that's just why karambits just really aren't my thing. And for this one, the only opening method is the wave function. It's just not for me at all. Now, the construction of them. And you know what? I'm not going to talk about the construction of this one. I'm going to talk about it on the other ones because that's where we get into some good stuff. They sent this out. I wanted to show it. If you're a karambit fan, hey, it's budget, kind of sort of budget. This one runs about $59.99. You do have, as you can see there, you do have a pocket clip. It looks like it might be, well, let's see. Is it, I haven't taken it off. No, it is not inset into, so it very well could be, it kind of curves with the curvature of the knife, so I really don't believe it's a reversible clip. because you've got the cut. Yeah, I don't think that would work very well. So no, I don't see that as a reversible clip. So appreciate the opportunity to check it out, but we're gonna put it over here. I'm sorry. I have to be honest with you. I just do. But so now we're gonna talk about a couple that I do really kind of enjoyed checking out. This is the Shatter. That one was the Ravid, by the way. I'll leave links down in the description. You can check it out. Now, the one thing that we see about the Shatter is we have a really low pocket clip on it. Was kind of hoping it could be, set up a little bit higher. I mean, you've got a loop over, so it's trying to be deep carry. I'd like to see that up here instead of so far down on the knife. We do have a lanyard hole. That is also set pretty low. But here's, I guess, why. Because as you can see, you do have what appears to be a glass breaker. But there's a little surprise. You can flip it around. I'll make sure I get it in there correctly. And now it does have a little Phillips head screwdriver on it. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit. Personally, if on this one you really can't if you want to make the screwdriver accessible, but I would get rid of, I would probably do this. And this is how I would carry the knife. If I need a screwdriver, I'll carry a multi-tool or something like that. It's a cool little addition, don't get me wrong, but not something that I would probably keep on the knife. So now let's go back to the construction. You've got some good slabs of G10. You've got steel liners, and you can see the milling on the G10. It's actually got really, really good grip on it. Everything seems to be chamfered off very well. Kind of look at it. But yeah, everything's chamfered off. The construction seems to be pretty solid. Your centering is pretty darn good. Again, like I said, you do have the loop over clip. It's just set really low on the knife. Maybe a filler tab as well, But now the D10 on this one feels a little light. It's not bad. Now these are all listed as manual folders, and you got to kind of get the timing down of that dynamic locking system, or it'll go short or it'll bounce back. So you kind of just got to get the timing down. See, we got bounce back there. I went too short. There we go. I got it. But the detent is kind of light. There, I went too light. I have a hard time failing it. It comes open every time. It's a little slow. That's why I said the detent's a little light. But overall, D2, G10, you got that nice kind of, I don't even know if they say what kind of blade it is. I kind of see it as a modified Wharncliffe. Yeah, they call it a Wharncliffe. Since it's chopped off like that, I say it's a modified Wharncliffe. But, decent in hand. It's got a nice grip, and actually that pocket clip where it's set doesn't bother me a bit in my hand. I can feel it a little bit, but it's not really bugging me. So I just like a deep carry clip. So being set up a little higher would take care of that. Got a good forward finger choil on it. There you go. There's the Elite Tactical brand. Yes, there is some branding. And Stonewash blade there. There you go. D2, Shatter. They are made in China, of course. Like our good friend Tobias says, if you don't like the billboarding, polish it off. I was like, well, yeah, you could definitely do that, can't you? I think he said that about the Oak Ridge knife, if I'm not mistaken. He also said his came with a pouch, and mine didn't. So I was like, oh, you got a pouch? But overall, so what do you get in the Shatter? And I'm sorry, guys, I didn't do this with the Ravid, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, little over 7.5, right about 7.5-ish. Looks like you're going to get pretty close to a 4-inch handle, which should give you just about a 3-inch blade, little over. Cutting edge is going to be about 2 3/4. on the cutting edge. Your grip length, you're looking at about 3.5, which that is right up my alley. That 3.5, maybe just a hair more than 3.5. 3.5 usually comes down right to the end of my pinky. So yeah, we'll give it 3 3/4. Okay, we'll do that. But as far as ergos go, it's not too bad. Like I said, I can feel that clip, but doesn't make me mad, so to speak. 142 grams or 5 ounces. That's where I'm saying they've got a little bit of heft to them. Okay, and that's kind of just the overall look and heft to it. That's what makes me think of like budget cold steel. Now, we do have some weight reduction going on that side a little bit, but not much on the clip side. So they could definitely get rid of some of that weight by adding some weight reduction in there. For sure. I mean, is there really some on this side? Well, no, not really. That's just where your mechanism goes. So, now, they call them manual folders, but not so much on this one, but on the Parallax we're going to see next. I kind of feel like they're assisted. Now, see, that one, I don't get a lot of tension. And this one really, now see, I got the bounce back there, right? So that right there leads me to believe there's some sort of assist in there. Have I taken these apart? No, not at all. No, I don't take them apart or alter them before I show them to you. So, but see how, if you get it down, now see, that was too late. All right, push up. See what you get that. That's what leads me to believe there's a little bit of assist in there. It could be just hitting the detent just right that makes it pop back. I don't know. But, so that is the Shatter. Not a bad knife. Now this one comes in at right around, I think it's $46.99. So it's pretty typical for G10 D2 pricing. You know, you can find some better prices out there. You definitely can. Absolutely. But now the last one we're going to take a look at is the Parallax. And this one actually got a lot of really positive comments when I did the unboxing. People seem to like this one. So very cool. We'll give you a little bit better look at it. Now, this one definitely gives me that kind of budget cold steel vibe because it's a little bit bigger, beefier. I mean, you got a steel backspacer there, which is going to add to the weight pretty well. Now, you do have a lanyard hole there. Now, this one, you do get the deep carry clip, which I like. Reversible as well. So, that is definitely a positive for me. Could use some recessed pocket clip screws. Okay, that's kind of the thing now. So, I always look for those. So, now this one, the detent is pretty solid. Now, this one definitely gives me an assisted vibe because anytime I drop it, and see that, we get the bounce back. Now, if it's not, you just got, it's really bouncing off that detent. But I can't really tell if it's a solid detent or if it has an assist to it, honestly. Because it snaps out very, very well. Dual thumb stud deployment, flipper tab. Again, you have the dynamic locking system. But see, this one I have a hard time getting to go all the way shut. So it's obviously getting, there we go. I got it. Whew. Got to have that timing down or else you're going to get that bounce back. Which, not really a fan of. Now again, you've got G10. Everything is chamfered off very well. You know, the backspacer has had the attention paid to it that I would expect. The liners have as well. Black liners. Now this one, it's kind of, I call it a modified drop point, if you will. What do they call it? They call it a drop point. So yeah, I mean it does, but you've obviously got the step down. So yeah, okay, it's a drop point. Dual thumb stud, again, a D2, Parallax, Elite Tactical. You do have the billboarding, polished off. This is more of a satin finish. Now, there's different versions of these knives on the Sharper Edges website that I find. Now, this one to me it's a little confusing because they have this blade style. They show this blade style twice in both in black blades. And then there's a clip point that they both show in, I don't know if it's a satin and a drop, or satin and a stone wash, but they do not show this blade finish, the satin blade, in this blade style, the drop point, on the website. So it has me a little confused. Because it shows one, let's see, it calls this one, if I'm looking at this blade style and I go under the specs, it says black, fine edge, drop point, handles black, blade edge, blade color is black. So, okay. Now, if I go to the other one where the picture shows the exact same thing and look at it and go under the specifications page, wherever it went, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Sorry. It says blade color, black, fine edge, drop point. So, yeah, it's a little confusing because they do not show this blade style in this blade color on their website. Both pictures are black. So, not quite sure. I call them like I see them. So, it shows the clip point version of the Parallax, which they call a Parallax, even though it's a different blade style, both in the satin blade finish. So, anyway, this is a beefy knife. Overall, what are we getting out of this one? Out of the Parallax, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about just over 8 inches fully open on this one. Should they call it 8 1/4? Okay, we'll buy that. It's pretty close. And if I get it lined up right, it probably is. So you're looking at about a 5 3/4 inch handle, which is going to give you pretty close to a 3 1/2 inch blade and pretty much a full cutting edge, as you can see. Nice belly on it. And again, very, very comfortable in hand. You do have a little bit of a ramp for your thumb. My natural lay of my thumb, it catches the back edge of that ramp. If I pull it back a little bit, but my thumb kind of likes to rest like so. So as you can see, I'm catching about the back half of my thumb on that ramp. Choking up, not really an issue on this one. You know, like on the Shatter, you had the forward finger choil. This one does not. And even like squeezing back, really triggering that flipper tab, I'm pretty much at the corner of that blade. So you got to be careful. Again, this one is running in that $46.99 range, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. So it's just the website is a little bit confusing because it just doesn't show this blade style in this blade finish. So, yeah. It does in the pictures below, but it doesn't give you the option for this one. So, anyway, like I said, G10, D2, it's beefy. Oh, what do we got as far as the grip length is about, it's pretty close, just over 3 1/2, which, like I said, fits my hand very nicely. Give you a weight on it. This one's definitely got some weight to it. There you go, 6.2 ounces and 175 grams. So that one's definitely a beefier knife. In and out of pocket very well, actually. And the clip holds very nicely. Deep carry. Nothing wrong with that. But like I said, it's a little thick. Let's see, what do we have for thickness? Let's take a look at it. It's probably pretty close to 0.6. So it's definitely over a 1/2 inch. Yeah, I'd say it's probably a little closer to 0.6 inches as far as thickness. But this one, out of all of them, really kind of gives me that budget cold steel vibe. And like I said, in my unboxing, there was a lot of positive comments about this one, which is cool. I mean, they're all budget knives, all budget options for sure. Some that I would choose, I kind of like the Parallax, to be perfectly honest with you. I kind of like the Shatter as well. A few different, like I said, I'd get rid of the glass breaker slash screwdriver on the Shatter, excuse me. Let's see. Can I get them all on there? Kind of, sort of, maybe. There you go. We're done with our close-up looks, so we'll zoom out a little bit. But of the three, the Shatter and the Parallax, not bad options. Like I said, I nitpicked them a little because, well, there's a few things that I could see could possibly be done, hopefully different. Maybe make it a more appealing knife to the masses, if you will. I know the G10, the D2, I know everybody talks about D2 fatigue and all that stuff. Yeah, I understand. And then, of course, you have the Ravid, the karambit, which for me is not even an option. No. No. But you know what? The Parallax would be definitely beefy work knife for sure. So let me know what you think. Do they give any of you that kind of budget cold steel vibe at all, or am I just way off the mark with that? I'm sure somebody will say I'm way off the mark because there's a lot of cold steel fans out there, and don't get me wrong, I like a lot of cold steel knives. Absolutely. It's not meant to be a detriment or anything like that. So let me know, guys, down in the comments, what do you think about these three knives? And here's a question for you. Do you really see a karambit as an EDC knife? Honestly, if you do, great. But let me know down in the comments. Do you really see a karambit as an EDC knife? I'd like to know what you think. As always, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.